a business? Looking to start one? Benjamin Brand, Benjamin Brand, Benjamin Brand. Our advertising agency offers a wide variety of public relations and advertising needs for the beginner, the small business owner, or the CEO of a major corporation via radio, television, and even the web. So whatever you're trying to market, contact us. We'll do it for you. Benjamin Brand, Benjamin Brand, Benjamin Brand.
You are now tuned in to Soulful Fridays with Tia Marie and Ra Asset.
So much for joining. Hello, welcome to the room. First of all, thank you to my co-host and to my producer for that wonderful, wonderful intro.
You know what? This is
That
a real
was
struggle streaming. I love you.
fabulous. That's a vibe.
This is a real struggle stream. You know what? This is a very real struggle stream.
First of all of you all, thank you very much for being part of the struggle stream.
I
I'm
know.
gonna
It's
actually
so
call y'all
funny.
hashtag struggle stream squad tonight.
Please do.
Oh boy, so it is Friday,
Yes,
and I
it is
appreciate everybody
Friday.
for giving us an opportunity to just get sorted out here. I know we're a little bit late tonight, but thanks for sticking with us. Again, thank you to my producer and to Benjamin Brand. I'm hoping that you guys join me tonight, and let's chop it up a little bit. First of all, Ra Asset, how you doing tonight?
You know, I'm struggle streaming. But I am in such a wonderful mood. Thank you for having me, first of all. I know we like a whole bunch of minutes late, but this is going to be one of the best shows because you know what? This is it. I'm telling you, I'm feeling it. Thank you. I feel wonderful. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good today. Actually, a lot of wonderful things this week. Been in a lot of different circles. So interested in where we go tonight. I want to do a little bit of commercials.
You know what? You
So
go ahead
first
and
of
do
all,
that. I have some things I got to do over here. Okay.
okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, so for starters, I just want to remind everybody about the other shows that we have available. We have our Playing Politics, which will be taking place tomorrow on our YouTube channel, Playing Politics, the Civics and Politics, I say. And on Sunday, which is Speak on It Sundays, we have some content for you as well. So please, I need you to like and I need you to subscribe. There's also contact information that's available for you on the screen. And let me just see here. Let me make sure I have in the chat. It is open. So if you, there are some, thank you very much. There are some ways to get in contact right at the bottom of the page there. And let's get started with what tonight's topic is. Would you like to introduce our topic?
I don't because it's Freestyle Friday. There's a lot actually going on. I hear a whole bunch of cleaning and
I do apologize. Yes,
like
I'm sorry it's
I'm
picking up that
hungry
noise.
now because I hear dishes. I hear so this is Freestyle Friday
This is
because
Freestyle Friday. I do not have a sound
we
stage.
knew
I
because first of all
apologize.
a new moon is coming, so a new change is happening just for the people who want to know. So but yes, a lot that's actually happening. So I don't really know how social media savvy you are, Tia Marie. But myself personally, I'm a little bit. And I've been on Twitter lately. Are you on Twitter?
I actually am. I had the pleasure of joining my brother on one of the channels that he was on. And thank you again, brother, for the shout out. That was very lovely. And thank you to the brothers that were on the channel with a lot of love and support. And the best part I liked was FBA Focus Action.
Well, I who is your brother for those who don't know? Because I'd be like, well, you know, who's your brother? Nobody know. Who's your brother? You gotta let us know. You gotta give us the info.
Yes, it is Tyreek Nasheed of Hidden Colors, 1 through 5, 1804, Buck Broken, uh, Buck Breaking. No, let me get the title right.
I get the
Sounds
title
good.
right. Freestyle Friday.
But thank you and shout out. My brother's always very thoughtful and giving out love. But when he was able to join the channel, the subject of this week was regarding the very poignant question: does immigration help Black people? FBA, Foundation for Black Americans. And if anybody has any thoughts, please put what you like in the chat. But
You starting off already deep. Are we going to start off deep
oh,
already?
okay. I'm sorry. No. But that was the
We,
subject.
so that
Thank you for the
yeah,
comments.
because I think I'm still trying to work with that. So can we come back if you don't mind? Can we come back to that? Because I do have something that I do kind of really want
Absolutely.
to talk about. Okay, so this is Freestyle Friday, and I definitely want to talk about like relationships and trying to figure out like what is the best way to navigate through relationships. Like, what are some of your key tips that you think that would help? I was listening to a young lady. She no, okay, so I don't know if you can help her, but she basically said that fathers are not needed. I wish I could play the clip, but it's a lot going on, and I didn't download it because I didn't know we were on PG time or not. But basically, fathers are not needed with children. So I thought that was very interesting. I can't hear you. You in a
Well,
way. I'm sorry. There you go.
can you hear me
Okay.
now?
Yeah, I can hear
Okay.
you.
I was trying to make sure there wasn't the pickup of the background, but yeah.
Have you heard that before? Have you heard? And she was definitely in her 20s. She was definitely in her
Hmm.
20s. And what's that thing that you go and freeze your eggs and you can kind of like, save the eggs? So let's just say 10 years from now, she hasn't been married or whatever, and she still want to have a child. What do you think about that?
Well, the issue would be is that something you're waiting for because your partner wants that.
But what
Um,
if she don't have a partner at this time? Like, so say she's freeze her eggs at like 30,
mhm.
28, 37, 38. She has not even, it's nowhere near a relationship. So she's like, I need to hurry up and kind of do what I need to do now. And her thing is, so people will be like, well, don't you think fathers should be involved in this? And she's like, no, no, I don't.
So I think we talked about this earlier in the week, the statistics behind what happens to those households. First of all, the single family household automatically starts out at a deficit economically. So those are choices that can have a detrimental long term effect.
Mm,
Um, in the state of Michigan, for example, most of our single family households, whatever the race or ethnicity, nationality, um, are in deficit almost $40,000 a year for what the care is necessary to take care of that child.
how much a year? Say it one more time.
39,000 and some change is where that household is at a deficit at minimum when there's just the one income.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Hmm. And that's per year, by the way. That's not like in
Okay, but
general.
what
That's
if they
per
make
year.
money
Well, I
and they
don't
can
think
afford
anybody
it?
should make them if they can't afford them.
But if they can afford
That's just
them, what do
not
you
a
think
rule.
though?
Yeah,
You
they
know,
probably don't.
because a lot of the women now that they're saying, "Hey, I can make money on my own. I don't need a man, and I don't need a
I don't
power."
even like that statement at all.
Or okay, how about this? Let me switch it up. Let me
Okay.
put a spin on it. How about I want a man, but he hasn't presented himself. I'm 38. I don't want a geriatric pregnancy. What do you say about that? They want a man, but it's hard for them to find one for whatever reason. Like we ain't gotta get off into that, but they just haven't found one.
Well, I'm not opposed to that. That's a lot of people's have.
situation.
So absolutely, if that's your situation, work it to the best of your ability. You're still responsible for what happens to that child, what kind of enrichment they have, what their environment looks like, who are the people that you put in and around them to nurture them, the village, if you will. But I think if we were given the choice, we wouldn't necessarily choose that. So I think you said it when you mentioned it, like it's a default because you're not in that position. Um, One of my dear friends, and able to have her own children, actually had two little boys that were foster children. And so, no, is it impossible? No. More difficult? Absolutely.
Oh,
Let me take a look.
but you're still not really answering my question. If I get, do that baby need a father?
Oh,
That's
absolutely. If it's
okay.
possible,
That's what
absolutely.
I know.
I guess
I'm
I
like, what?
didn't understand the question. Okay. Yes.
Do that baby need a father?
What was the show?
Like what
Was
you
it
say?
Life?
Freestyle
Where
Friday?
I'm the daddy. I'm the pappy of that there baby.
What? Mama's baby, Papa's maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, I don't know. So I've been kind of so I've been a lot of the YouTube and social media spaces. So there's been a lot that's really going on. There's this guy. Well, there's two of them. I don't know them. I can't say if they're part of this new YouTube wave, and I can't give their name out because people can really go and check them out if they wanted to. But their name is Fresh and Fit. So
Is that the channel that comes on? Is it YouTube
it's on
that
YouTube.
I've
They do,
seen? Okay, yeah.
and they got a lot of pushback last week, or I think maybe a couple weeks ago. They went onto a show, or I'm not really sure, but they talked very bad about Black American women. So I'm going to play a clip if you don't mind.
Okay.
And this
Yes,
one is okay. Let me.
I'm gonna try to get reorganized here. Hold on. I'm
Well,
gonna
the
go
clip
off
is only
camera.
like 30 seconds. Well, in the
Okay.
meantime, okay, so it's only like 30 seconds. But in the meantime, so just to kind of put some backdrop onto this video, um, these guys, they are content creators,
Hmm.
and they have women that come onto their show to talk about relationships. They talk
You
about
know
all
what
different
song is
things,
that?
and I can hear you,
I
man.
don't want you to be on
I'm
camera.
gonna put you on the mute. So they talk about relationships. They have women that come on. You have to set up a appointment. They come into the studio, these young ladies, and they talk about different relationship things. Now, I do not know the topic that they talk about. I don't know, but this is one of the things that people really kind of got up in arms about. So I really will love. I don't know if my co-host is back, so I kind of want to wait till she comes back. But a lot of people really got upset because he said that they both said that they do not date Black women, and they said it's just a preference. Like, okay, I personally love mint. It's like this mint ice cream. It's so good. That's my preference. But if you have vanilla or if you had chocolate, I'm going to eat it. I'm okay with it. So they saying that this is their preference. So this is the video. Let's see here. Can you hear me, Timmy?
I can. Is the chat open for comments?
Only not on your Facebook. Are you which part are you open for comments for? I see you. I see your chat.
Okay.
But we're not streaming live on your Facebook. We're streaming live on your YouTube channel. Is that okay? Okay. So I'm going to play. You're not saying nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and play the video and let me know what you think.
Never used that one, bro. What about the black dating app called Black? It's funny I never used that one, bro. But hey, man. I mean, hey, bro, if you want to date a bunch of Shaniquas, go for it, man.
LaQuisha?
Yeah, like me and Fresh aren't really down with the brown like that. Man. We ain't night riders.
Nah, so bro, I'm good.
Sometimes if they're red bone, but like in general, me and Fresh don't dabble in the dark. If you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
Okay.
I ain't gonna lie. Just keeping it real. I don't really date black girls. It's not because like most black girls are like annoying. How to put this ratchet, and they don't know how to like be reserved. You're like the complete opposite.
You are not the stereotype. You are.
So I don't know if I need to play that again, but I think I do. I'm just going to play it one more time because I don't think you were listening. So I'm going to play it one more again, and I can't hear you. But I'm going to play it one more.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
No, I said I heard it, but the quality is not that great.
It's not that great.
I'm
going to play it one more again. Okay.
I never used that one, bro. What about the black dating app called Black?
It's funny. I never used that one, bro. But hey, man.
I mean, hey, bro, if you want to date a bunch of Shaniquas, go for it, man.
LaQuisha?
Yeah, like me and Fresh aren't really down with the brown like that. Man. We ain't night riders.
Nah, so bro, I'm good.
Sometimes if they're red bone, but like in general, me and Fresh don't dabble in the dark. If you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
Okay.
I ain't gonna lie. Just keeping it real. I don't really date black girls. It's not because like most black girls are like annoying. How to put this ratchet, and they don't know how to like be reserved. You're like the complete opposite.
You are not the stereotype.
So basically, these gentlemen said that they do not date night riders, which I guess would be dark-skinned women. And if they were to date black women, she would have to be a red bone. And my co-host, Tia Marie, she would be considered probably, a red bone, very high yellow black woman. So a lot of women really, and actually the men, I want to give props to the black men. This probably show really should have been I'm Proud of Black Men show, but I probably will make a separate one, Foundational Black Men in particular. So I'm very proud of you. But people had a problem with this because they said that, hey, we are, you're talking about our women and you're trying to put it into it's a preference, right? Like some kind of, I prefer pecan ice cream. But so if somebody say, Tia Marie, what kind of ice cream do you like?
Vanilla. No.
Are you going to go and say, well, if I say, Tia Marie, what kind of ice cream do you like? And then you say, well, I don't like chocolate.
Exactly. And that's why I said that's the difference between preference and having sort of a discriminating attitude towards a particular thing, group, or item, or what have you.
So this actually brings me right into, so both of the gentlemen, I didn't really take time to put down their real pictures or whatever. And so, yes, all right. Alamway, I can never say your name. I practice it, but yes, I love you. Yes, I will definitely appreciate. First of all, I can say it in my name, in my Mr. Africa. Oh, Africa. That's what I'm going to have to call you. Please forgive me. I don't know why I cannot pronounce your name properly, but yes, I subscribe to you. I love your content. And Alamway, I can say it, but he was on a share, and this is kind of
hello, friend.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to practice this. Okay.
I can say Africa.
Yes, and I'm definitely going to I'm going to send you the link and so you can pull up, because I would love to talk to you about this. And I just want to talk to my sis about this first. If you can hear me, sis, let me know you can. This is really, 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 really important. So on Twitter, there has been a lot of chatter. I think you have seen some of the chatter over the last 24 hours. And it's basically about Foundational Black Americans, ADOS. Tia Marie, are you familiar with that?
ADOS is...
Yes.
Tell me again.
American Descendant of Slavery.
Hmm.
And FBA is Foundational Black American. Okay. And somehow, some way, I began to get into the Twitter space. And I don't know what I came upon, but I guess I came upon some. I really want to make this correct, and I didn't get a chance to really sit down and think about it properly. So everything that I'm saying is really going to be freestyle, and I really like to think my thoughts out and write them down and really kind of put it together. But a space was created, and I really would love to get the guy on originally. I think his name is Check or Mel. And a question was posed was, do you support reparations? Now, this particular space on Twitter happened maybe a couple days ago. I'm not really sure. And I kind of was in and out, really wasn't paying attention. And then somehow that Twitter space evolved into something called and I didn't normally I would have all of my notes and all of my information up here, but the original after the first one was do you support reparations for FBA? That was the original Twitter space a couple days ago. Are you with me, Tia Marie? Because I can't hear you and
I'm
I
with
don't
you.
know because I don't know what's happening. But let's stop Friday.
You know,
Because
I
I'm
was
like,
not in the best position. So if y'all will work with me, I love y'all. So someone is asking, how do they put something in the chat for YouTube? You may have to click on the chat button just above your statement and above
they're on
your
YouTube.
page where you see that you selected um, the
I'm gonna
channel.
practice. I'm gonna practice your name. Oh, Africa. I know it's Wale. Omo. I know it's Wale at the end. I'm gonna get this. We gonna tell me, and I'm gonna get it when we come on. So I just need my co-host or the host of the show. Actually, it's her show. Actually, just happened to have me on because I don't know. She probably just loved me like a little sister. But
Hmm. That's
yeah,
my
it's like
baby sister,
that
y'all.
little sister love. Like, oh, you gotta wear my
That's sister
outfit
love.
again. Oh, you get my
First of
clothes.
all, but I love the energy that you bring. I love the passion that you bring. I also
Wale.
know
Okay.
that, I'm pretty conservative and you kind of got a pulse of what's actually happening, who's it happening to,
That's because I'm
and what we
hip.
can do about it.
I'm hip. Look, I'm
Very
hip.
good.
I'm hip. I'm rolling with that. Okay, okay. So I just need sister to
Okay.
kind of really
First of all, can I
grasp on
just
what I'm
acknowledge
saying.
real quick? Thank you for the 6 folks that are in our chat
Thank you.
and for watching. If you
This
guys, I believe if you look just above where it says subscribe, like,
I ain't did none of that.
thumbs up, live chat, share, or report, you will see that there is a place where you can leave a statement in the YouTube chat.
You have to
And
be
I
on
do see
YouTube.
I've got a few of you guys in here. Okay. Let's see what we
So
got.
let me kind of keep with the flow here, if you don't mind, because this is really important, and I really want it to be special. I do. Okay, because remember our conversation earlier this morning. You were saying, "Is this constructive or not?" And we talked about the app, the lane that we can put in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you have some private chats too down there if you have to read it. Somebody sent you
Okay,
something.
let me just see.
But so now while we do that, okay, so earlier this week, somebody in Twitter, which we found out this week what Twitter spaces are, right? So we in Twitter space, we in Twitter world. One of the Twitter space topics was, do you, I think, please don't quote me, but whoever um support reparations for foundational Black Americans, ADOS, people who have lineage back here to chattel slavery here on the American plantation. That was the question for the chat. Somehow, some way, a couple days later, the topic and what was discussed that I didn't even listen to, so I don't know, but I do know it kind of I don't know, but I'm assuming, and kind of from what I've heard, that's kind of how this new topic came about. Was, do immigrants benefit Black Americans? Were you in that chat at all, Tia Marie? Did you see that topic? It says, "Do immigrants benefit Black Americans?" Were you able to see that Twitter space?
So I saw the
Were you
tail
able to read
end.
that private chat as well?
Was I able to read what
The
the topic
private chat.
was?
No, the private chat.
I believe
I
so.
mean, let's try to read because you must have didn't see it. So were you in that Twitter space?
Yes, I was able to be in the second one.
Do you remember what the topic was? Oh my god! But I showed.
I was in the Twitter space that asked the question about immigration. Uh, if that's the one that you're talking about.
Yes.
Okay.
Was you able to read the private chat?
I'm reading the private chat.
No, you're not. Are you sure? Did you read what I wrote?
Yes.
Or are you reading the chat? Not the Facebook, YouTube. You know what? This is listen, y'all. Look, my
I'm
little
just trying to
cousin.
get a handle on what is
My
happening
little
right
cousin
now.
said old people should not do social media, and I'm beginning to believe that she might be right.
So you all,
It
we
is
are
a
doing this
no, I love
live,
you.
but this is a struggle right
Yeah,
now.
and that's why I was saying it's a thing. So I really appreciate everybody for watching and really giving us grace on this because we are new at this and we are trying to get a handle of this and make sure we put on a productive show. But sometimes we're not ready. I'm sorry. But so you were
And
in
I'm
the
going to blame it
last night,
on
right?
technology not wanting to see me shine.
That's what I be
Okay.
thinking because it's like, why are you making it so hard for us? Like, really? Like, don't we look like stars? My goodness. Like, why you gotta make it so? But I put it in your text message. So on your phone.
Oh, okay. So we have from one of our um, viewers saying no immigrant can get reparations from their own government,
Oh,
but
I see.
not from. Okay, he's saying no. This immigration does not help Black people. They need
I don't
to
know what you
get
reading.
reparations from their own country.
I don't even see that. Is that on your Facebook page?
Mm-mm.
All I see
Look
is
that
no immigrants can get reparations for their own government, but not from the
the
US.
USA.
Okay. Because I'm like, what?
I was reading it wrong, but thank you. Thank you so much.
So, first of all, this is one of my favorite. He always Charles Alexander. I'm gonna once I can get it together. I'm gonna have something real special for you. How are you, love? I hope you're having a wonderful Friday, and I'm feeling wonderful. Yeah. So, Alexander said he is ADOS. So, Charles, you are familiar with ADOS. So okay. So now we got some people in the chat that understand where I'm coming from. Okay. Now, so what happened was. Thank you. They were beautiful. What had
What had
happened
happened
was
was,
Charles. Anybody
what
else
had
that's
happened was,
listening? So Twitter have a new thing. I call it the party line. Like y'all remember the party line back in the day where everybody just jump on
thank you.
and then yeah, like that was really fun, right? So am I dating myself anyway? So Twitter have a thing called the Twitter space. And there was a topic in the Twitter space where anybody can join on the app though. You have to be on the app to join this for the older people. Okay, you gotta have an app, not on your computer. You gotta actually download that app to be
The
able
app
to.
took me 20 minutes to download
Some of us,
to make it
it
work
only
right.
took like 20 seconds, but anyway, okay, so what had happened was and they're the young people. They created a really nice, well, I'm gonna say nice. It was a Twitter space called "Do You Support Reparations for FBA ADOS?" Okay, all right. Somehow in this Twitter space, some things were said. 2 days or so later, a new Twitter space was created called "Are immigrant do immigrants benefit foundational Black Americans, which is the same thing as ADOS. Okay. Somehow, some way, this is really important. The topic never said Black immigrants. The topic
Nope.
said immigrants.
It also asked a question that never got answered.
But I don't want to focus on that. If you just give me one
Okay.
second, because what I saw from a lot of people who, and I want to be, I'm a Pan African. I am an ADOS. I am 3 generations removed from slavery. Okay. I am 3 generations removed from antebellum chattel slavery. My mom is 2, who is still alive, and her father was 1. I am extremely close to chattel slavery. My grandmother, my great grandmother, is a Seminole Indian who was declassified or reclassified as a Black at a certain point in time where they had to walk the trail of the tears of trail, trail of tears. And that's how my parents ended up in Alabama from Florida. I know my history very well. Actually, my cousin's writing a book on it. Okay. So somehow, some way in this space, Black immigrants begin to pile in, and I heard, because the space went on for about 20 hours. Now I stayed up to like 6:30 in the morning. I told you I did not go to sleep till like 6:30 in the morning. I think I started listening maybe about 10. I didn't go to sleep till 10 to 6:30 in the morning listening to this. The space said, do immigrants benefit foundational Black Americans? Somehow Nigerians specifically, and there were some other ones that called in, but Nigerians were really the most prominent. They dominated the conversation in terms of they disagreed. It turned into Black immigrants. Okay. From there, the sentiments was that foundational Black Americans, ADOS, are jealous of them, and we're trying to cause division. I'm saying we, or the space, or whoever was trying to cause division between the Black immigrants and the foundational Black Americans, African Americans, whatever you want to call it, whatever. And that creating this space and this topic created division. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have people who are Nigerians that are saying that we're taking their jobs. I don't know if you ever heard that trope before. Now, I've heard that trope kind of more, not Black immigrants, it's just my small bubble, more like the Latino, Hispanic community, because they come in and they get paid way lower. So say if they work at a factory or even at a for the lawn service where they didn't took over here in this area, and I'm sure some different things, they come in at a lower rate versus as me, a foundational Black American who has been living here and has a life here, and of course my expenses are going to be a lot more, so of course I'm going to want a little bit more money than $5 an hour versus someone who was only making 25 cents an hour or $1, so of course they can come in and underbid the native Aboriginal Black person on these type of entry jobs, which will be hospitality. With some of the other things that they take over, they're really getting into a lot of different areas now. So
right now, a lot of the IT and the call center type work.
Some of those areas.
$9.25 an hour. Yeah.
So I'm going to land my plane and say, so now we have a whole this particular Twitter space that I'm talking about that lasts about 20 hours broke Twitter record. There were over almost 32,000 people listening at one given time on this topic. and people got to call in. Well, it's not really call in. You just hit the request thing on your app, and then you get to say your piece if they pick you, because you can have your like raise your hand pretty much, and then once they get to you, it's like a call line, but it's like a party line a little bit, and you don't see the people face talking. You just hear audio for those who don't know. So now we're at this point now, and you can. I mean, I sent you some things. You didn't give me no reply, so I don't know what's up with on any of things. So I don't want to go too deep. I'll let you finish it.
Let me see.
You're not getting none of my private chats that I just text you.
I am. I only see 3.
If you look on your bottom of your computer, we have our
Yes.
private chat thing happening down here. Can you type some shit
Yes.
down there? Thank you. God damn.
You
Really?
said I muted you, which I thanked you for.
Well, no, scroll down. You ain't got to repeat it. Just read it.
Okay.
Lord have mercy. And tell me yay or okay. So so tell me what I'm at to
send me an updated note, because I see something, but it's not asking a question. I don't know if you need an answer.
I'm going now.
Okay. First of all, again, thank you for the 4 people who are hanging in this chat with us. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so let me just say this. First of all, I'm tired of all the trolls.
You a smoke signal. Now you don't know what's going on.
I'm tired of all the trolls who came. Oh, yes.
You said we have some trolls in this house? Got some trolls?
No, we don't have any trolls in this house, because I'm not going to have that. Y'all can post up, because it don't matter. I'm not listening to y'all.
So
What
I
will
don't
say,
remember what happened, why I told you to join the space. I don't remember why I told you.
Well, I know my brother was on there. My brother.
So can we say who your brother is? Because a lot of people had a lot of pushback. Okay, so before you even say this. Yes. Accuracy is so important to me. And context is equally as important to me. And when people take things out of context, it can destroy the whole atmosphere. And if we're not willing as people to actually think logically and not so machine driven, triggered like type of feelings, and I can only say this because I can see how things can get so misconstrued. I can see how I saw how it all. I saw it happen right before my eyes.
Well, the first thing that they did was they took a question, which is a valid question. We should be asking out of all the policies that exist. Whatever is happening, that's a valid question. It might be a valid question for both parties. FBA, maybe ADOS, as well as immigrants. Because if they answer the question, if it works for us, they have to also answer the question if it works for them. And that's what they're not willing to do, because they're not asking the question. All they do is come to pick up the butter biscuits that are coming and dragging behind. See, to ask the question and actually get an answer, there's accountability attached to the answer. And that's why it's much easier to deflect, deny, distract, bore, than to actually answer the very question. I heard.
What was the question?
Does immigration help Black Americans? Now, luckily, there were a few Black people and African people who came on and attempted to answer the question as best they knew how. And they also started to see how much vitriol hate was happening. So they posted up and said, look, I'm in support of the question being asked. I'm in support because I recognize that, yes, it does not benefit the Black community. And I also heard offered out that there were opportunities for Black Americans to do something that would help them. For example, how we look at the candidates that we will be supporting in not only this election, but in the future elections, considering what the last year has looked like under the new administration. So if we stay focused and stay centered on what is our goal, what needs to happen, the only focus that Black Americans need to have is the eradication of racism. The way in which that happens are many different ways. Because 100 million ways have been tried before now, and it's going to take 100 million more ways before it's eradicated. That's my short answer.
I see. You be giving me these damn politician answers, and I be like, "What the
I'm
hell?"
just saying, I don't have another. I don't have another answer.
So I guess okay. So I mean, this is okay. So let me just preface this differently. Then maybe I'm not
Mhm.
drilling in. So the question was, do immigration benefit Black Americans?
No,
Then the Black Americans will say, well, if it doesn't benefit us, should we support more immigrants coming into the USA?
not our dog. Not, we don't have a dog in that race. No.
This is where the friction is coming in at. So this is okay. So I'm not speaking for everybody, but this is from my
Mhm.
understanding. Hold off on immigration.
Mhm.
Do not allow any more immigrants coming in. Because I should have had my stuff prepared, but it's Freestyle Friday, so forgive me.
Mhm.
The Biden administration has proposed to give the Afghanistan's like X amount of dollars. Now he proposed X amount. How much they get, I guess, still to be determined. When other immigrants come into the United States, they are afforded set asides. When other immigrants come in, they take the $5. They will undercut the wages because in their country is more than what they were getting. Now, I personally do not blame immigrants because it's the people who's doing the hiring, it's the government, it's the system, how it's set up. Knowing this, which most people do not understand that part of it. But however, the fact that and this is me, the fact that people don't understand that part of it,
Mhm.
Black Americans are saying, let's hold off on immigration. Let's not allow no more immigrations coming in right now because people are coming in over us. We are at the bottom of every matrix system that there is, whether it's economics, education, entertainment, health, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, technology, and war. No matter what people activity that's happening, Black people are at the very bottom. We're not blaming immigrants. We're just saying, wait a second. When they allow you to come over, because you are being allowed to come over. Like that's they're offering you the benefits, which is cool, but it's not cool because I'm looking at it. Well, I'm looking at my family. I'm looking at my generations 7, 5, 3, 2, 1 down the line. And we're going further down the line. And there's also an article that's saying foundational Black Americans we will be poor by 2054 or something. I'm going to push it up a little bit more than that. Zero household income or savings. Like we're just going to, I mean, we're not getting any better. So let's hold off on this immigration until we can figure out how we can get reparations, set asides, grants, not loans. We can get some kind of reciprocity, some type of repair. And then once we get ourselves going, then we can allow other people to come in if it's necessary, at this point. But right now, so that was kind of the conversation. However, that turned into a conversation that we are against Black immigrants. We say that we are threatened by them because they're taking our jobs. We are practicing xenophobia because we asked that question. This is where, to me, the friction is coming in at. And then when your brother, and for some reason, I guess people thought that Tyreek started this space, but he did not start the space. He joined in on the space. And I actually re-listened to before we were getting ready, and he was just asking people specific questions, and there's some reason they want to pay him as an agent, and it affects me because he come from the same family that I would have come from. We're all trying to figure out. But I guess it's such he has a large following. I guess people just I don't not really I do not understand it. But that's why I said this is to me this is where black people, because when Martin Luther King was alive or Malcolm X, everybody didn't like he had more people against him at the time, both of them. We will kill our own people that's at least trying to a lane. You may not like the lane. That's okay. You can not like it. But are you so jaded where you will be willing to vilify another black person just because you disagree with them and have not really sat down and talked to that black person? Because again, I'm thinking like, well, how did they even come up with this conclusion where I'm like, that's like, where, how does this even, no one said any of this. So I'm on my soapbox because it really affected me, and I really feel some kind of way. And this is the problem, Charles. I know you're Charles is lighting up the chat. I'm so sorry, Charles. I was on my soapbox here. So I just want to read what Charles said. He says ADOS is for U.S. slaves. African studies at Howard shows that black Africans, Arabs, Europeans all sold slaves. So Jim Crow discrimination against all black people. But Africans versus ADOS is a problem, and I agree. So this is really important, Charles. So when the ADOS were trying to say, hey, look, just answer the question. Y'all have to hear, they got so irate. It wasn't like, well, it was no compassion. It was no empathy. It was no, well, what are we doing wrong? You know, like it was just our cockers don't do nothing nowhere. You're lazy, you crackheads, you this, you that, you're stupid. It got to a point where it's like, well, dang, y'all really don't care, really. Like they're trying to, and they were being so calm. I want to give props to my ADOS FBA men. They was calm. They kept to the topic. They did not get emotional, and they kept saying, "Can you please answer the question?" They will call in and say, you know, we did this. Y'all didn't do nothing for us. Y'all want us to kiss y'all butts. Y'all mad because I mean, it was, nope. Can you please answer the question?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on myself. And again, Charles, he says, okay, I want to read what Charles said because he has some really good points and I really love what he said. I'm going to push back on you on the NAACP, Charles, but we'll come back to that. We have
the reason why he says that is I explained to him, they don't do anything here in Michigan. Where he's from, it sounds like they are very active. But in our state,
okay, it's like, I don't know.
I have an APB out on them right now for the last couple of years.
Know what's happening. But as a collective, even my aunt, my mom's sister, my aunt, she said about in the 70s, because they were really active like in the 50s. But like in the 60s, 70s, she started noticing that because she used to get money and started going down at that time. So this is like kind of like before I was born.
Right. What I explained to him was what started to happen in the 70s during the desegregation. Oh, I'm sorry, you're still talking.
Charles says ADOS is a bigger threat because we know the white man's way. And this was the part of the problem. There was a guy that actually called it. I said I was crying because I couldn't be laughing. Don't you bother these white folks. I mean, he was so mad that we're just making white people mad. A Nigerian last night. I could not believe my ears. He was so mad that we're talking about this because we're upsetting the white folks. He called them good liberal immigrant. I don't know. Okay, Charles, he says, not really. My dad, who was a NAACP attorney, I always wanted to be an attorney, but they probably wouldn't let me through. Help two Cameroonians, which my grandmother on my dad's side, supposedly from the DNA test, says she's from, immigrant to the USA. They are good friends of the Alexander family El Hajjad, and Amy from the Cameroon. It took 10 years. And what's very interesting is that I was telling Tia Marie, I personally did not know any black immigrants living where I lived at, but you say you did encounter some. But I never really just, I think our area, we didn't have like an influx, like you say, New York, Philly, Miami, they have more LA, they, because they're off the water, so it's closer, we, Detroit did not have that type of influx of black immigrants. Now we had Arabic people, Chaldean, the Jewish, and now Indians. We had those type, but not the black immigrants so much. So what was your experience with rich Nigerians have capitalist ambition? I don't really know what that means because they were really kind of in this space. They said they were rich, but we like, okay, well, prove it, and they really couldn't. I mean, you got one or two. I mean, it's like saying Oprah's rich. I mean, I don't really know if that doesn't. And then they're going to say like maybe 60 to 70% of their population is illiterate. Because of the government. Because of the government. Oh, but the government, we don't have the same government here, Tia. I don't know if you knew that, Marie. Did you know that it's two separate governments? It's two system white supremacies. Did you know that? I don't know if you knew that.
Yes. So I don't want to interrupt you, so I'm trying to wait.
And I'm done. Okay. I'm done.
Okay, so first of all, thank you for all of the comments in the comment section, everybody. We do appreciate it. Please don't feel free to put your comments in the comment section, but keep it, above board. We don't want Twitter and Facebook and everybody else kicking us off. The other thing I would say is please like and subscribe on the YouTube channel for Kindred Souls with Tia Marie. There is a place to donate and show your love. If you have questions or some of your questions don't get answered in this show or you watch this show later, please feel free to send us an email or DM message. All right. So our wonderful immigrant brothers and sisters, I'm going to back up just a little bit to where you started, which is no, it does not benefit us. But what does it look like to do something about that, right? Right now, we don't have the political power to stop immigration, but we certainly have the power to stop supporting it. So I don't believe that we should be advocating for their lane. I don't believe that we should be advocating for their access. The fact that they're over here and that they exist and they know what their platform is, knock yourself out. But this kind of pushback is specific, right? It is targeted back towards us for having a different say about our experience. And that's where we have to be extremely careful. That's what we have to call out. Nobody's stopping them from do what you got to do. You're over here in this country. You want to find your way, help yourself. We'll be working on the policy that allows you to come into this country over some of the things that we've been advocating for. But don't get in our way and we won't get in yours. But that's not the case. They do get in our way. They do participate in white supremacy. They do participate in discrimination. They do participate in perpetuating the lie of the model citizen as if the citizens that are here that are asking for what was taken from them, that is somehow asking for something that isn't due. And I get it. You're right. It is not right for any group to have negativity towards immigrants. I'm fine with that. But guess who had it against you first? White folks. This government, the last presidency. So all that energy and that pent up hatred for your Black brothers and sisters about what they aren't doing, just flip it, reverse it, slide it back it up, and direct it where it belongs. We are not in the same fight. So you're welcome to join our fight and to support what it is we need to have done, which is reparations, which is the education that we were told we would have access to, the housing that we pay taxes to ensure that we have to secure all these wonderful amenities around us. But that's not their fight, and they should be interfering with ours. You get to join or you get to move on. And so the time that they spend using all kinds of vitriol hate towards us, they are being used as the white as the supremacist tool. They're just another aspect of that multifaceted tool, that Swiss Army knife. They'll first pull out the Black woman that's willing to degrade the Black community. They pull out the Black man that's willing to come against the Black community. They use employment against us, education against us, religion against us, the immigrant against us. And when you see those organizations and factions allow themselves to be used, that is when we have to clap back and say, it's not your fight. Stay out of our mess. Find that you got your own problem, but stay out of ours. Or join us in combating this, because wherever we are is a benefit to you. Racism affects all other isms. You want to stop the other ones, stop this one.
So we do have some visitors, TJ and Dave. I'm gonna need you guys to, or ladies, I'm sure, I'm sorry, to at least cam up for a minute to let me know that you are people, if you don't mind. Once you cam up, you can go back off camera and come back up. You know, you don't have to go live, but if you don't mind, so I can make sure you are people. One person jumped off. Yeah, they both did. So yeah. I mean, I could do a call in. I can have you guys call in because a lot of people are scared to come on camera and say this, which is also now. Again, I'm a Pan Africanist, so like I'm not TJ. Thank you. If you can hear me, I see you come back on. But if you could just cam up, just let me know that you are a live person, and you can go right back off camera.
Welcome, TJ. We do want to just ask that you are mindful of the chat requirements and that you're respectful to the host and co-host. And if you aren't, we will mute you, and we would like for you to keep your comments to about a minute and a half. Thank you.
So, but I want to say this too. Again, I am a Pan Africanist. I believe in. I don't believe in like separation. But what was most surprising to me was that it was no like it was almost like entitlement. It was almost like, well, we come over here because we're, their country is not doing well. So we come over here to get money and we're not worried about y'all. We don't even care. We got to worry about our own family. We got to do our own thing, which I get that. I'm not saying that that's false, but what I'm saying, I think that the problem was that that's not how this works. And I actually have a video, and if I can find it, I will. TJ, you keep going in and out. So let's see here. Let me see what you're talking about.
So wait, let me back up. So you're saying us TJ, staying. Okay.
TJ, if you mess up.
I know that person.
Support Circle Detroit.
What up, though? That's a support circle.
TJ.
That's TNT.
I don't even see you. I don't see nothing about it. Let's see what if TJ messing up. Let's see. How supportive can I be, TJ? We don't hear you.
Is it possible?
Maybe something's going on with you, TJ. I'm not sure. I'm gonna put you backstage. Maybe you can kind of get it together. Woohoo! Even I don't even know who you are. Support Circle Detroit, but hey,
I can tell you who that is. That's TNT. I'm not gonna say the name since their name isn't on there. You know who that's our very well educated African brother.
I'm power to the people. Come out.
If he'll put his own name in there, then I will say it. But if he doesn't put his name in,
TJ, you know what? I appreciate you because you camped up right away. Thank you. Can you
Hello.
hear me, TJ? Because I can't hear you.
How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
thank you.
welcome.
So, first of all, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I
This is my first
appreciate
time
it.
using this kind of stream, so
I
I had to
know.
keep off.
Thank you for trying it.
So,
Yeah,
what do you have to say? What say you, TJ? Where you calling from? Can I ask you?
I'm calling from Stone Mountain, Georgia.
Oh, Georgia. I love
I have
Georgia.
a brother that lives there.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if
So
you
what
know,
say you?
what does he go by? I think he uses C. Turner down there. There's a lot of talk about healthy eating, healthy living.
hmm
Holisticness. So, what say you, TJ?
In reference to Black Americans and the other brothers and sisters in the world,
Yes, please help me.
um, I think that there should be some unity. I think we should spend some time, talking through our debates and stuff like that, because we do have some differences. We do have uh some we was raised differently. Them over there in Africa, some of them was taught different things, and they got to get debriefed when they come here, because it's not like they was taught. But I think it's a beautiful thing for us to for Black Americans to awake to our pride in this country. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I think it would behoove us to take pride in ourselves, because I think it's a natural instinct for anybody, a Jamaican, an African, a Nigerian, whoever, to come to the country to set up shop, to start sending money to their family and stuff like that. That's natural. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's important for us to pool our resources and nation build as well, because that's just the right thing to do. I mean, I don't have no issues with somebody in the diaspora. As far as my genealogy, I was my maternal grandmother was from Virginia. My dad's side of the family is from Waverly Hall, Georgia. That's in Harris County, Georgia. My mom, she's from New York. My dad is from Waverly Hall, Georgia, too. So, I got some deep Southern roots. I myself, I was born in New York, but my roots is in Georgia and Virginia. So at the end of the day, I don't have no animosity towards nobody else in the diaspora. I just, I think it's a beautiful thing when Black Americans start realizing who they are, and we don't need to be found. We don't need to discover who our people was in Africa, or whoever, who said they was from Africa. They could be from America somewhere. But at the end of the day, I love my brothers and sisters all over the world.
Mhm.
If I can just ask you, so that was kind of one of the problems that they had, that ADOS, Black Americans, did a separate identity. I saw that was one of their problems that they had, that we actually, they call it, we're division, causing division, because we're calling ourselves ADOS or FBA. Like, how do you, were you in the Twitter spaces too, TJ? Did you get a chance to listen to that?
Um, I was in one yesterday. I was just listening in. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
say nothing, but I was listening in. I was in there like 10, 15 minutes. So
Oh, I did hours. Okay.
I think I did hours. Yeah, I
okay.
was
I mean,
connected for
literally.
hours. But TJ, I love your point. I do believe that there has to be unity,
Yeah.
but there's a statement that I use often, a few of my friends use in these circles. This work that needs to be done is for the willing. And so I believe there is unity with those who are willing to have that with us. It can only make us better and stronger.
Mm-hmm.
But for those that aren't, we need to be cautious and need to be aware.
Now, when you say the willing,
Because
what does that mean? Do those do the work for the
so
willing?
one of the things that you'll hear, like in volunteer work, right, is I can't go to a space and just say, all of you need to volunteer. It's not how that works. Volunteerism are people who join together to work on something. And I'm taking the context from volunteerism and trying to apply it to what TJ is saying about unity, which is whenever you need to accomplish a very hard task, you're going to have a much harder time forcing people who don't want to help with that task or don't see the goal of that task than you will trying to appeal to those who are willing to help you to see that goal. So it sort of tells you in the volunteerism world, spend your effort and your energy bringing along those who are willing, so it doesn't slow you down from reaching your goal, as opposed to saying, well, I really want to get the people who are refusing to volunteer. So I'm just applying that principle to this, which is if you're going to be in anti-racist work, if you're going to be in strengthening economically, FBA, strengthening our Black families, our Black couples, ensuring our legacy, you have to do that work because it's hard work. There are no butter biscuits. You have to do that work with those who are willing to come along.
Right.
So, TJ, do you think so? Okay, I'm a Pan-Africanist. I am an FBA. I am diehard. I'm also a Pan-Africanist. Do you think that it's important for the Black immigrants and ADOS and stuff, us to be united? Do you think that's important, or it really don't really matter? Like, what do you, I don't help me.
Well, when you say important,
necessary,
you can't. If the car is not working, the car is not working. You shouldn't get a new engine if it's not working. If it's able to operate and we all benefit from it, or another piece. Okay, if we are in all a melting pot and the flavors are all coming together, then it works. But a melting pot don't really work like that. It's different flavors. You got curry, you got slap your mama, you got Lori season. So them seasons don't go together like people think they do. You know what I'm saying? So if it works, it works. If it don't, it don't.
And you know why, TJ? And I'm glad you said that. You know why? Putting all that in the pot is to ensure a final dish.
Right.
A good tasty one too, right?
Right.
So when you say I got a flavor tonight, I'm feeling like pizza and Italian. That's a whole different kind of herb section.
Whole different.
If I'm going, I want to have something South Asian, little edamame on there. That's a whole different flavor profile. Right. Now, can they live in the same spice cabinet? Yeah, maybe. But that don't mean they necessarily are gonna complement each other. And that's not to say that one side is negative or not. Right. It's what is your preference? What's your goal? Where are you trying to get?
Right, exactly.
Oh, y'all hurt my heart because I feel like I can make those all seasoning work together. That'd be
well. You know what? I'm gonna tell you something. There is something in the cabinet called allspice.
Yeah, and I have some. I want to read this chat from Mr. Charles. He says, so when I was at Howard, my Swahili professor, Dr. NGYA, I can't even pronounce that, said, you Black Americans don't come to Africa to help South Africa or Zimbabwe, formerly Rhodesia, go as high as you can in the U.S. government. Yes, that was actually one of their sentiment, Charles. So they were saying basically, so much. Well, it's so funny. It's hypocritical because the Africans were saying, well, we come here to America, we don't have to help you because this is the land of opportunity. And we saying your land of opportunity is not our land of opportunity. It's two totally different things. So you're looking at it two totally different. And then when we go to Africa, now they're saying that we should have money when we come to Africa. I don't know if you heard that, TJ. They're saying like we're sucking up their resources. I actually have a clip on that from years ago. And that makes sense, right? Like
this is that same analogy though. It is house slave and field slave. Now, if you ask a house slave, conditions are terrible. The food is terrible. The conditions are still brutal. There's rape.
Yes.
Whatever the case may be. Then you got the field slave that says, conditions are bad. If you ask them what's going on, they'll tell you, we don't have the right clothing, we don't have the right
That's a
food.
great analogy.
Either way, we both in bondage. And so to even compare the two, no, we can't help y'all, and no, y'all can't help us. I don't even have an expectation that they help us.
No,
I just don't want them to come against us.
I think the problem was, and tell me, TJ, if you kind of felt this way. The problem was when we were saying, do you support ADOS reparations? They had a problem with that, and they also had a problem with us separating ourselves as considered to be ADOS or FBA. Like that was their problem. So they did not support reparations. Did you get that vibe at all, TJ? Because maybe I don't know. I listened to a lot of it, so I don't know.
Well, you talk about from the to the space. What day?
Yes, or overall, because it's been going on for a few years.
I mean, the notion. You got to understand who. Okay, you're a Pan Africanist. I mean, I would love to be a Pan Africanist. Like I said, if it worked or whatever. But you got to understand, you being a Black American is. You're a special kind of people. No other person has ever gone through what we have gone through. You know what I'm saying? We ourselves hasn't gone through what our ancestors have gone through, but we feel the conditioning of what they have gone through. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, for us to be liberated on a global scale, it's going to take us. Let's start with the what ifs. For the world, for the Black people in this world to be liberated, it has to come through Black Americans. Period.
I agree with that.
So for me, to answer your question, it kind of started. I think the second term of Obama. I voted for him twice, right? Before that, a Black person was a Black person to me. When I started seeing, what he was doing, what he wasn't doing, I'm like, wait a minute, his people are not my people, so maybe that's why he's doing what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's not so much that they don't support it, they just probably a little afraid for Black people to wake up to say, wait, they're gonna wake up and realize that they've been working all these years for nothing. Because all we're gonna do, we're gonna go right behind them. We're gonna set up shop, and before they know, we're gonna have our bodegas. We're gonna have our little meat markets. We're gonna have our little whatever, and they still gonna be working. If they wake up, all those benefits are gonna stop. So I think they just are kind of nervous about us waking up and not fully supporting them like we used to. So
I felt that. I've totally felt that too, because today it was almost like, you're right. Like they're on the backs of us. Like I'm with you 100%. We are unique people. I got the chance to listen to some of the spaces. There were actually people crying, Black Americans, because women mostly, because of the pain and hurt. Like it was almost like, I think Black people thought that they were, or at least our friend, in some kind of way, like some kind of connection. But the way that it came off, there was none. And
right.
People were hurt. Like it was hurt. It was trauma. Like it was like, because really, if you really want to think about it, we could be considered homeless.
Mm-hmm.
To me, FBA, ADOS, Black Americans really can be homeless people.
Mm-hmm.
We will have nowhere to go back to. This is all we got. This right here. And then in terms in the tweet, it's saying like, you can't, like, they were really dissing the fact that we can't go back home, that we were slaves. Like they were like trying to rub it in your face. So I'm like, this is like some really interesting pathology that we got going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were actually rubbing in your face that you were a slave and you got sold and you over here and you ain't got no nation, you ain't got nothing. So one girl asked like, well, what was your native language? Well, you don't know what our language, I mean, like we're basically like homeless people, and they were like rejoicing in that.
Right.
And that was hurtful. I don't know if you heard any of that, Tia Marie, but it was a lot of that going. People were like, I think.
Well, I heard the comments that were like lazy, How
We
can
were
I come over here?
lazy.
And it kept being equated to my parents came over here. They were immigrants. They had nothing. They built X. Now they have X. And it was
Yeah.
like you had still a
So you
completely
can't
different
do nothing.
trajectory. You
You
had a
niggas
completely
over here
different
can't do
trajectory
shit.
than what we had coming into this country. And don't think for a second again, the other side knows how to use them against us. For one, they're so willing to be used against us. And two, they do benefit when they come against us.
That is very true.
And
That is
so
very
that
true.
wasn't really discussed. But yeah, it was a lot of pain. And this notion of like, I'm blacker than black, or I'm less blacker than black, than you're black. Like,
Where is all this coming from? So I really thought
well, I
that was
believe
very
this the campaigning, the white supremacy campaign is global, fresh, alive, uh, televised, regurgitated, indoctrinated, educated, religiousized. So they get it honest. It's not coming out of nowhere. This is coming
Right.
out of a conditioning that the same anti-black hate that exists here in the United States is a global anti-black hate, to where even people who have your brown skin and maybe even your same trajectory in their life, in order to separate themselves from that hate, they identify with their oppressor and the information their oppressor puts out. So it is sad. It's a pathology that can only rest in mental illness.
Oh
No
man,
one
so
will say
Tariq
that
is
this is
doing
a
a
mental
space right
illness, but
now.
it is.
Tyreek is doing a space right now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. And I don't think you can get on through your internet. I mean, through your web browser. I would love to join in. See if you can tag us.
All right, let me see what I can get him to do.
I gotta see. I'm like,
So
there's
for
a way.
everybody listening, Tyreek and Ashi, that's why she said it. That's my big brother. Love him very, very much. Love the work that he's doing. Love everything that he's putting out there. Not only because he's my brother, but because he does his homework and he puts this out in such a
People don't
way.
see that. People see him being a grifter, a
And that's
waste
okay. You know what it
hustler,
is?
some kind of
No.
I
What
mean, I
happened
heard
is
all this.
that
I'm thinking like they don't
with
even.
a quick Google search, you will see all of my brother's transformations from when he first started to be in the public eye when he was about 16 years old. And there is a thing about, even though you evolve, because the people around you haven't, they only see you where you came from or what they think they know about you through this public sphere. My brother is one of the most kind, thoughtful, takes care of people, not just financially, but in terms of being a leader in our family. So I know what people see on television. I know what they see on the Twitter, what have you. And I'm sure that he's quite used to people coming up with their own thought about who he is. But
How do y'all
he's
deal
less
with it?
concerned about that than what he actually puts out there.
I really want to get oh God, oh Africa. I'm just trying to get him on here because he was one, and I respect. I'm a Wale. I'm a Wale. Africa. I'm a Wale. He just did a live. I need to see if he can come on because he was the opposition of Tariq or whatever, and he feels that. Well, he can say it for his own self. I don't even have to say anything. And I feel like maybe I'm being biased. I don't know. Maybe I am biased. Because I know the back end. I know the back story to this, and it's interesting to see how people come up with this narrative that he is grifting off of, and he had nothing to do with it. That's the killing part that really killed me. I'm like, he just happened to join into a space, and since he already have like
Yeah,
a
someone's on there right
personality,
now talking crazy. I don't even know what they're saying.
it's very interesting. And then they want to do like this whole fraud campaign. I'm thinking like, y'all don't even have a. You're going after the wrong target here. If you only knew, see, and to me, that's the system. We look at people that's not even the people that's the target. The people that's the target, we're not even looking at. To me, but I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong. I could be because I'm being biased. I don't know. So we'll TJ. So let's see how we can. There is a way I can do it, but I'm struggling. I'm streaming. I'm struggling. TJ today. We've been trying to struggle streaming all day.
My first time on this.
On this stream, yeah. Well, I like this stream because you can stream to like 30 different platforms at one time, right?
Oh,
so
okay.
I
link, so that's why I kept coming in and out because
okay. Well, the other person dropped out, so I thank you for even camming up. Thank you. Because I don't know if you know now they got this thing now where people will come on to your cam and then they'll be showing some nudity, some X-rated weird stuff.
Yeah, I can
kicked off of YouTube and stuff. Yeah, so that's like. So I was saying to Marie, she probably should do a phone call thing so that way we can eliminate that. But I like doing the face to face too.
Yeah, this is cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, so we're just trying to. For me, I'm a Pan-Africanist. I am moving to Africa. I am.
Nice.
I am. I don't know where yet, but that's always been me. But I do see the disconnect though. I see the disconnect in so many ways because white people do treat them differently. They've told me they treated them differently because they have the accent, because they know that we're different.
So I'm gonna pause real quick. I think I'm about to come on my brother's show for a second. I'll just tell him to give a shout out.
See if you can put it on your speaker so we can hear you. Oh, see, I can do it, but you on the space? Okay, so we're gonna go. Can you go to the space, TJ? Okay, I'm on the space.
I'm living in Canada.
Can y'all hear mine?
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna turn it up louder. Tia, you can mute your when you go live. Mute your.
I don't think there's any.
Mute your end.
That's one thing I like.
On here, so it won't be an echo.
I've been listening so far.
You hear me, Tia Marie? I'll mute you. You ain't got to do that.
There is a lot of listening that we need to do for one another. I heard the conversation around name calling, the apartheid kind of thing. I don't subscribe to that. That's one thing I've always never accepted, never subscribed to that. I'm Pan-Africanist, right. So I don't subscribe to that. Now, the question which was posed before, how does immigration help Black Americans? I understand the struggles of Black Americans for a very long time. I totally get it. I cannot say that I share the same experience because I come from West Africa, Nigeria. We're colonized as well too. But I think we still live in a false sense of freedom. I totally get that again too. So I know this is a very conversation again. So Wilson, you want to say something?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know it's a tough conversation for everybody, but we all have one common enemy. This is just what I see. And, if we keep thinking.
Okay. Thank you so much, brother. Let me get the next person on. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. And I kind of want to speed it up, family. A lot of times, and I'm trying to give everybody a voice. I kind of want people to get to the point. A lot of times, people would.
It's not me, y'all.
It gets into a lot of sloganizing and stuff like that. So, am I still here? Okay. This one's lost. Reconnecting. Okay. If you guys can hear me, it said my connection was lost. Am I still here? Can you guys hear me? If you can hear me, raise your hand, please. Okay. Okay. It said my connection was lost, but we'll try it again. Okay. Shola, turn your microphone on, sir. Let's talk to Shola.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Shola, how are you, Shola? What country are you in? What city are you in?
I am Nigerian, but I'm in the U.S. I'm in the Twin Cities.
There you go. So chime in. What do you think about the conversation, sir?
Are foundational Black Americans jealous of immigrants? I can't answer that. I'm not foundational Black American, so I don't know if you're jealous or not. I don't think you're right. I don't know.
Right. Go ahead.
But no, I was wanting to actually ask you a few questions. I was trying to, I kind of want to let me try and walk to see if I understand this, because I think funny enough, I think actually many Africans, because so going back to ADOS as a movement, from when it was created, when it first began to come to the surface, the central premise of it is that you're trying to define like kind of like a separation of like, you know, basically ADOS is going against the concept of flat blackness, if I understand that.
Okay,
right.
let me clear that up, because when you start talking about ADOS, that's where a lot of confusion comes in, because that's an organization that has a couple of people claiming to be leaders. So that has nothing to do with what we're doing. Okay, let's be very clear. Let's be very clear. We're talking about Foundation of Black Americans, which is completely clear. It's Trump type. There's no mistaking. It's very distinctive. It's not an organization, and you can't join. You can't fill out paperwork or nothing goofy. Either you're born an FBA or you're not. So what we've done was basically acknowledge our lineage. That's it. We just acknowledged our lineage. There's nothing else to it. We just acknowledged our lineage. So there might be poor FBA, rich FBA, Democrat FBA, Republican FBA. So it doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah.
It's the Foundation of Black American. That's all it is. A person who was a non-immigrant who was a descendant of slavery.
Can you hear me, Tia Marie? On my end, it's not, but your end is a double sound. I can't hear you. Let me try and see if I can do it this way. Give me 1 second. I mean, so y'all can.
How you feel about it, because you're not confused. Because
I'm not confused.
Okay. I'm not you personally. When I say you, not you personally, sir. Just as a group. Because when immigrant groups come over, even over there, you don't even have to come over here, but even over there, you all look at us as a different ethnic group.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, you do. And the Caribbean, they look at us as a different ethnic group. And here's the thing: they look at us as a different ethnic group in a negative sense. And that's the problem, because there's always a pejorative title that they put on us. Like the Jamaicans or people in the Caribbean, when they say, hey, when you go to America, stay away from those Yankees. People from East Africa say, when you go to America, we got to stay away from the Jareers, all of these other names. West Africa, and people try to put this just on Nigeria, but I've heard people from all over West Africa sit up and call us all types of Akadas and all that. So these people look at us as a different ethnic group in a negative sense. And they do a lot of this stuff in private, which is, I think, is very cowardly, especially after us, Foundation of Black Americans. You know that we have looked at you all as our brothers and sisters. We've sat up here. We fought for you guys to get here, and you know this. We sat up here in the 60s and 70s with afros and dashikis, giving ourselves African names to connect with our brothers and sisters over there. And then when people get here, we get disparaged behind closed doors. So we kind of feel a way about that right now. So when we start saying, okay, you know what, we are a different group ethnically. So we're going to look at that in a positive sense and give ourselves our own identity. Not no bullshit like we're a stray cat and all of that silly nonsense. We're acknowledging our history. We're giving respect to our ancestors. And we've identified ourselves as Foundation of Black Americans. And now a lot of people have a problem with it, because now they won't be so easy to exploit us, because they've been able to exploit our desire to link up with them. See, that's the thing. They've used that against us. Our desire to bring all of them in to share our resources with them, that's been used against us. So that's why a lot of people are feeling funny style now, because it's not going to be so easy to do that when we start getting resources and designating who's going to be qualified to get those resources. And you won't just be qualified to get them because you're Black. That's why a lot of people are kind of trembling in their boots to a certain degree. That makes sense, sir?
It does. So it makes sense when you kind of put a political significance behind it. If it was just about identity, I guess we should
thank you everybody for joining us.
But
we're talking about this channel and the conversation, as you can see, continues. If you get a chance to go to Tyreek Nasheed's Twitter page, you can actually listen on Spaces.
Because like my struggle here is that I understand you,
well
but at the same
as
time,
on
like
my page.
from my
We're just
experience and from
listening
what
to a
I've
small
seen, I
portion of it.
don't
Feel
think it's
free.
this black and
This
white.
conversation
That's my
continues. I
only
cannot believe
issue.
how
Like, I don't think it's this
triggering it has been.
simplistic sense that, because like, you know, the other day you were at that space, they were talking about how does immigration benefit Black Americans, which for me, I was trying to get on because I wanted to ask a question. My question I was going to ask towards that topic was that when we talk about benefits, are we always talking about tangibles, or could it be in terms of social interactions and kind of sharing cultures and sharing things like that? Would that count as a benefit, or does it have to strictly be about tangibles? I guess that would be my question as far as that goes. Because the reason why I'm saying that is because I mean, like, I have Black American friends who are like, I mean, I even have family that are Black American, that are my family, and we share cultures, we mix up. I mean, they've gone to Nigeria, we interact. So like, I think African immigrants, if we're talking about how we can help in a way that's non-tangible, I think African immigrants can help Black Americans who do want to find a way to connect with the continent, connect with the continent. Although I never liked the idea of, oh, Black Americans are going back home, because I've always thought like America is your home and you guys are as American as it gets. And this idea of going back home to Africa, I mean, you can go back home to, you can go and like find your roots maybe, but like, I mean, your roots are here in America as well. So like, I never really understood that aspect of it. But I do have Black American friends and we do have this conversation. So, you know, the thing is, like, I guess it depends on how you're measuring that in terms of like, okay, how are we helping? I think we're helping in a way that's, but you know, actually, Terry, let me make this point. What you're saying now, like this separation of wanting to separate race from ethnicity, I think that's great. But understand this, like realistically, the things that you're saying, you can say that because when you say it, it has a different connotation.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We were live on Tariq Nasheed's channel.
Doesn't make any sense. Like,
I think it's coming back up in just a second. We lost it.
Still there?
Can you hear me, Tia Marie?
I can actually. So I was reading some of the comments. One of the things that the gentleman just asked, he was like, is it tangibles? So that's actually a really good point. What are we actually arguing over? So it's a very good point.
I got
are always.
But go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
First thing arguing over, me replacing the system of racism, white supremacy with a system of justice. And in doing so, some of the FBA's, ADOs, Black Americans, one is so many components to it. One of them is reparations. Because again, you know, I always say no one has the answer on how to replace the system because no one's never done it before. So we're all scientists in the lab, in our lane. You don't see other scientists arguing for trying to cure cancer or leukemia, prostate cancer, colon cancer. We're trying to replace the system of racism, white supremacy, and no one has the answer. So everybody just doing their lane. And one of them, they feel like reparations could be one. What's part of the code? He said what he said. She said what she said. She feels like reparations can help. If you agree with it, don't matter. If you agree with it, don't matter. See, we're so off code, we don't even realize it.
That's what I'm saying is that the
and your brother Tariq said this. He said it, but they don't want to hear that part. Oh, the white man, you're talking about the white man. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So we talked about this in the room yesterday when someone says, well, what do you mean by FBA? Like, why do you have to say Foundational Black American? And why do you have to say, you know, FBA? And why do you got to be called something different? Well, don't get it twisted. Whatever you're called, you didn't decide to be called that either. So us rejecting a name or title or something that was put on us, and for us to reject that, we have a right to do so. And the confusion is that they think that what they've been called is what they chose to be called. The white man that went around here and called himself Irish, Italian, Indian, Jewish, Hispanic, Spaniard, Finnish, Dutch, okay, Aboriginal. He didn't call himself every kind of thing. Give him that heat. Give him the heat. We just rejecting the names put on us. We ain't tried to call ourselves a bunch of other things. We just keep rejecting the name decided for us. The people who keep renaming who they are is the white man. And anything that you suffered in your country that made you flee from your country to come here, it don't make white people right. It don't make white people better. It just means that you found a fresh new hell to come and get comfortable in.
So that's one of the negatives that's been happening in the space, is saying that, well, we're not the problem, the white man is. Yes, we know that. So the first question,
and the fact that they don't know it is a problem.
I can't even go that step yet, because the first question was, do you support reparations for foundational ADOS Black people?
And
Most
as long as the answer for them is no, because it's some people who are native to the United States but do not identify as either of those two groups, who also don't know what the answer to that question should be. So rather than, and that's what I say it's so tough for me, the people that are in this space, the people whose thought process is where it is, the good news is they will never go any further than where they are right at this moment. The second good news is that if more of us think the way we should about reparations, we can outnumber those folks and we can actually do something about it.
I wanna read a comment from Charles Alexander. Originally he said, we were talking about something else. All of that is true and it's hurtful, but America is our country. Remember, Africans, Arabs, and most Europeans bought and sold slaves. He is absolutely correct. And that kind of goes to the point, is that this is why people who are students of Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, Neely Fuller Jr., John Henry Clark, Baba Cabernet, Professor James Small, Wade Nobles, Dr. Lenny Jeffords. I can go on and on. The Jock, Dr. Ben, I can go on and on. Patricia Newton. This is why we want to replace the system. It's a system that has a definition that, again, I would love for your brother to talk more about, because I think this is where the disconnect is coming in at, because we say the code, we say the system of racism, white supremacy, but there's actually, Dr. Wilson is the only person who created a full functional paragraph definition.
Working definition. Mm-hmm. And I think so to two parts.
Because let me say this. I'm just gonna say this, because people think that Black people can be racist. Under a real functional definition, we cannot practice racism. Nobody can practice racism, white supremacy, unless they're white. And who classify a person to be white or Black or Arabic? Who does the classification, Tia Marie?
The culture, but the people themselves.
The white people. No, only white people.
Well, why I say the white culture,
only people. White people can classify who's white, who's Black, who's Arabic, who Indonesian. They're the only, that's part of the system. So when people hear the system of white supremacy, they don't think about all of these components, because we haven't been, they haven't.
Well, no, they've been told that racism is a hearts and minds. They've been taught that racism is a like or not like.
It's bigotry. No,
and it has nothing to do with that.
It has nothing to do with that. And that
racism is attached to the foundations of the Constitution of what this country is tied to every ounce of gold and every monetary transaction. It's attached to every physical building structure that holds land in this country.
I agree.
Property, policy, and profit.
And this is
Period.
the message that we need to get out, because I feel like there's a disconnect in that part. Because when, again, Black people go around saying, "Well, you were being racist." That when any Black
Well, that's
person
what
says
they have
that,
no clue what
they don't
racism
know
is.
what
And
racism
again,
is.
they only know racism defined by white supremacy and white
In the
folks who told them
dictionary,
that all racism is that I don't like you because of the color of your
I
skin.
didn't call you in that. Exactly. That's it. They don't. That's the only definition.
They
That's
don't understand how racism was
I
constructed
know.
and what's being used to maintain it and what is being used to ensure it. So if you want to know
Everybody.
what constructed it, it's policy. If you want to know what maintains it, it's property. And if you want to know what sustains it, it's profit. Policy built it, property maintains it, and profit ensures its sustainability.
Yes.
Do y'all need to hear that again for the people in the
Yes.
back?
Can you think one more again, please?
Get your notebooks out. We're going to school tonight.
One more
We're going,
time, please.
and I'm not going to stay on there too much longer. I'm going to get
No,
off
we're
for
not
20
gonna
minutes.
stay long. But I'm just gonna just put this up real quick.
Okay.
Everybody needs to get Neely Fuller books. For real, for real.
And if you don't like reading, go ahead and get the audio version. I'm much better on the audio version.
And I'm going to actually put out some. I'm going to take some time out next week and put up some links where you can listen to some of these audios, because a lot of people don't reading. First of all, reading is more important than watching television. We need to take out at least 30 minutes of our time, whether it's 30 minutes a day or 30 minutes a week, and just do some reading, because that will really quiet our mind and get our mind to be able to think and progress and build and learn. And all our computer, it's only one computer brain. You got one input, one output.
Well, that's why I say partly why we're not getting that, and I kind of touched on it a little bit today. There is with continuous sustained trauma, with no end in sight, with no relief from that trauma, causes brain damage. And so in order for you to be in a position to receive this information, you need to take care of your diet. You need to make sure you're hydrated. You need to make sure that you're physically active. You need to make sure that you're in circles that challenge your thought process, not just circles where you get
Exactly.
You need to put yourself in positions that whatever station you're at, that you imagine yourself at another level, go to that level. Expose yourself. You ain't got to talk. You don't got to know what to do when you get there, but expose yourself to it. If where you always go on a Friday is one place, go on the complete opposite side of town. The other thing is stop being intimidated. If you need to read self-help books. See how my brain does? Watch YouTube videos. Use this thing in your hand, this black mirror. Use this black mirror in your hand and use it to elevate your mind. There's nothing that ever said education only came from being within inside the brick and mortar.
Yes.
Education is a way of life. It is the fulfillment of life. It is the way you attach yourself to life, is through learning. One of my favorite people, Toby Tanzer, always answers when I say, "How are you doing?" He don't say, "Fine, I'm good." He says, "Still learning." That's an action. That's an action platform. And so, as we talk about reading the books that you suggest, we thank you. Still learning. We need to put ourselves. Oh, you know what? See if you want to come on for our last 10 minutes.
Toby ain't trying to come on. This was earlier. This is a
it
whole
was from earlier.
This is from earlier. This is one of the books, and I say this very importantly because again, you know what, Toby? I can't say.
He's right there.
He said he can't wait to chop it up with us. You know what, Toby? Can't
bring him on. 5 minutes.
Wait, how long we gotta wait? Are we gonna be crickets? Are we gonna be the skeletons? Come on, Toby, we need you now. This is a really important conversation.
Well, because we have, and I do want to say this while we're waiting on Toby to come on.
He said he ain't coming.
Okay. Well, ladies, this is what I will say,
There you
and this
go.
is something that even Rod Asset reminded me of. I don't know if I needed to be reminded, but I'll just say she reminded me,
We all gotta. You're not learning until you
which
contradict.
is the way we speak, the way we think, and the way we act has a lot to do with how far along we get. And in order for us to get where we need to be, we have to be thinking, acting, and speaking with a siloed frame of mind for the goal. Not the way to get to the goal, but one goal. We know that we need to eradicate racism. We're going to come at this a lot of different
We're
ways,
gonna
but I don't want
replace
us to
it.
disparage
We're gonna
each other.
replace it. I
Well,
know.
I say eradicate
I
it
don't know what the hell does that mean.
because to me, eradication is a solution. To replace it, I'm
What?
not opposed to replacing it, but
Eradicated to what though? What do you recap? I mean, because I don't even know
well,
what
see,
that
here's
means.
the thing. When I replace, I like the word replace. I don't like revise. I want to destroy what system exists.
Mm-hmm.
So I
And
think we're both
replace it
saying
with
the
what?
same thing. You take it one step further and actually say, okay, and replace it. So, and
Meaningful.
I don't have to replace it. I know what exists needs to be removed, and I know justice needs to be in its place. Now, how we get to the justice, that's a whole
And
nother
that's why I
line.
say, and again, it's why I always resort back to Nitty Fuller. I mean, I'm not telling you what not to do, but I think, to me, in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
when we start talking like that, the shit gets convoluted.
No,
We
no,
need
I'm just saying.
not you. Hold on, I'm not talking
I
about
just
you.
stopped it.
I'm not saying you, because what I'm saying is when we say things like things that we're trying to do, stop racism, or we are racist. Like, we do not have proper function definitions of what these things mean. So we begin to say things, to me, and I'm just saying, when I say, when I hear eradicate, those
Well,
are
do you
talking.
know what eradicate means?
No, I
Okay,
don't.
I
Like,
do. So that's why I use it.
so let's just use
Is
simple. Talk to me like a 10-year-old. I mean, for real, because I'm
well,
being honest, because there's
okay.
a huge
I didn't
disconnect.
think it wasn't a simple word, so
It
I
is.
apologize. To
Talk to me
me,
like,
I use it so frequently, it is
yeah.
very simple.
And you can
But
use it, but that don't mean, because when I say I want to replace the system of racism, white supremacy, you can give your whole definition of what that system is, because we already got it. What is system of justice? What do justice mean? Guaranteeing that no one is mistreated, and whoever needs the help the most get the most constructive help. See, when we start talking
but
accurate,
most people's understanding of the word justice is attached to law. So
but that's why we don't. That's why when
exactly.
I say justice, I finish
No,
that
but the
off
reason
with
why
the
when you say
definition.
justice, so if the word eradicate is not simple, to me, the word justice is not simple. If you're
But
talking about a
give me a
10-year-old,
definition. Give me a quick definition of eradication.
dismantling, it means to destroy. It
Okay, so
means
I'm destroying
to
what?
remove, so the whole full sentence is to eradicate racism, white supremacy, and replace it with a system of justice.
Which is what? What's justice? Because I can say justice, and I mean, what is justice? What's justice to you?
Would you like for me to give all of that definition? Because
You
that's what
have
I can
to.
do. But
And
you just said make it simple for a 10-year-old.
yeah,
And
because
I
a
thought using the word eradicate and justice were simple words.
10-year-old know
But
what
to your
damn
point,
eradicate means. I mean, and that's what I'm
I
saying.
use
That's
it.
why
I've used it around my children. They know what it means. But
let's just
to your
be
point,
10-year-old.
to
Yeah,
your point, to your point, I don't have a
keep it
problem
simple. Yeah,
using simplistic words
simple,
or
simple.
simpler words.
It's going too much. I'm just
Because
being
even that word simplistic,
yeah,
simplistic
just
is
be
a
real
word,
simple.
but
Real
simplistic is
simple.
simple. It's the
Simple.
same
Keep it
thing.
simple, stupid. That was my teacher.
Oh my
Keep it
gosh.
simple,
Okay.
stupid.
Okay.
Like,
I
because
think
I'm
we're
just
saying the
saying,
same thing.
you can see how things get so just like it's a
Mm-hmm.
point where we're arguing, like we were saying, but what we're arguing for, like we were talking about this morning. The number one thing is what? The number one goal is replace the system. We're not mad at the immigrants. We want to replace the system of racism, white supremacy with a system of justice. And we do have to break it down very simply, because it's convoluted. I call it academia jargon, talking
So
points.
convoluted, but even the word convoluted. So I use that word in my circles all the time. So all I'm saying is, whatever verbiage you want to use, I don't care.
Oh, you want to know how you get on
the
topic?
goal,
I'm about to text it in the chat. Tell me.
Because the goal is
I want to hear,
the
because Toby's going to really help me. Because Toby know I'm totally gangster with it. I have no cap. I have no censor on this. So Toby, I'm going to post it in the chat real quick. Toby, I'm going to post it right now. That's for you. Just click that link and click yes to the accept your camera and video. So that way you can come on. I seem like I'm lagging. Am I lagging to you, Marie? Okay. I'm here. So and this is very important. Accuracy. Okay. And I think Toby can help me with this. I spent over 8 years studying Dr. Wilson and Neely Fuller. And one of the things was at the very beginning, they state their definition, they very accuracy.
Okay, but so the accuracy that you talk about, definitions matter. I 100% agree. And if I think we're getting caught up in logistics and linguistics.
We start there, and that's why this is why I think Black people, we don't study that. Remember I was telling you we don't study that grain of salt, the little grain of sand. We got 1 million sand petals. Study that one little one out of that 1 billion sand petals. We refuse to study that one little grain. And that's the missing component, because we do not have a context or a base for that. We could that's the problem. We throw out all these words. What do it mean? Nothing. But when you begin to sit and study and learn key words, because if I say a Black person can be racist, how so? And I asked one Black person, how do a Black person practice racism? We have to be very strategic. I mean, when I say study that one grain of sand, we're trying to get. I think we got to start as a talk to me like I'm a 10-year-old, not like in a condescending way. You know what I'm saying? But like really explain it to me like you're explaining it to your 8. You know how kids say, "Well, why? Well, why?" You know, all kids, why? Well, why do the sun come up in the morning? Why do explain it to me like that, but not in a condescending way. And you have to do that with definitions and intent and purpose. I'm telling you, it's going to change the game. Or don't even listen to me. Forget what I'm saying, and I'm saying some bullshit, and keep doing what you're doing, because I feel like that's the disconnect. That's just my opinion. I could be totally wrong, but I feel like
I'm happy to use context. I'm happy to sing it in a nursery rhyme.
Singing in ABC 1, 2, 3.
I don't have a problem with that. I think,
but we gotta break it down in that because you can say all this shit, but what does that mean? A Black person can be racist. You can say all this stuff, but
absolutely,
they don't even know what that means.
Absolutely,
they don't even know how the system is a system dynamic. That component. Neely Fuller said 9 areas. I told you, I added 2. The health and technology. The system is comprised of components that has systems. We don't never even say that. Nobody says that. Let's break it down. Like that's the problem. But we are so we got a convoluted. What the fuck? Talk to me like a 2-year-old where it's nice, and this is the problem. We got to start. But I tell you, elementary. And me and Tori talk about that. You got elementary, middle school, high school, and graduate school.
This is all true.
We're at preschool with this, and we can't be.
This is all true.
We are at preschool probably for some of us. I mean, I'm being funny because if you don't know, you don't know. Who heard of Neely Fuller Jr.? How many people in that 30 plus 2,000 chats that was the other night heard of Neely Fuller, Dr. Wilson? Maybe 1 or 2%, and they still don't even know how to. How to eloquently present her work and present all of our works. Dr. B, I mean, we don't, That's what I'm saying. Like we are such in a, we got to start slow. Talk to me like I'm a damn preschooler, and not in a condescending way. And I say that, you know what I'm saying? Because it's important. We have no definitions to back up what we're saying. We're saying all these goddamn. You know who 10 Wise is? I'm gonna say this and I'm done. You know who 10 Wise is? Gus interviewed 10 Wise. I think it was 3 times. 10 Wise supposed to be this anti-racist white guy. This is why everybody need to study Gus interviews. He only interviewed white people. All the white people that say they this is some real shit. Like listen to me. A 10-year-old, her name was Justice at the time. She might have been 11 or 10. She was his co-host. She was his co-host, a 10-year-old. She asked him questions. Well, what is racism? What you was eradicate all this? He was saying all this. I gotta send you the damn clip. At the end, she said, "You're just saying buckets and buckets of words. What the fuck do this shit even means? I'm eradicate what? I'm eradicate roaches." See, we have to be. Dr. Frances Wilson was a. Dr. Wilson is my shero. She completely changed my life. And then from her, I met Dr. Wilson because that's her mentor. I mean, Neely Fuller. Neely Fuller is Dr. Wilson's mentor. He is 92 years old. He started writing this book in the 40s when he was in the Vietnam, the Korean War. It was all in papers. He had this big back stocks of paper. Dr. Wilson and another doctor, he's passed now, did the book for him. Dr. Wilson said she said, "Oh, this is brilliant." She said, "Oh, take about
is that
one
a big word?
Brilliant. People should know what brilliant means.
They should. Okay.
Smart. And if not, we should be comfortable enough to say, "Can you explain what brilliant means?" Because Siri that is here. Correct.
Let me know if I can help.
This is Siri. Siri thought you're talking to her.
They always listen.
When you said, "What does brilliant mean?"
They always listening.
This is what I will say. I do not disagree with you, but I will say this.
I'm going to go off
and maybe, so I think what I hear you saying, so let me just see if I can regurgitate this back. I do believe that there are people who need to hear it as a 2-year-old, but I also believe there are people that need to hear it as a 20-year-old and as a 40-year-old. And so I look at those as different rings on the ladder. And there are going to be some, listen to me. Okay, what you guys say?
I'm not, maybe if I will give you, if you can take some time to listen to why I came up with this. I'm a 10-year-old. When you talk to anybody about anything that's important, we have to go slow because we're serious. See, we're serious. And when you explain to kids in grade school and you're explaining things to them, how words work, you're serious about it and you take your time and your patience with them. That's what I'm saying. It has nothing to be with.
And what I'm saying is, you also have people who are in different levels of the work. I don't ask GM. I would never ask the CFO of GM to come to the line and teach somebody how to make a widget. There are people who are just above the people at the line who speak the same language and can speak it at the level in which they are understanding. Now, I'm not saying don't make things simple, but if we get caught up in the linguistics of some of this stuff, that is what's confusing. What I would prefer people say is, just like you used brilliant, if we're going to go, like, it's semantics. I don't even want to get into semantics, which that's a big word too, I guess. So what I'm saying is, I don't expect folks at the top of the ladder to reach down to the folks who just woke up yesterday. There's somebody who woke up the day before them that can help bring them along. But somebody that woke up 4 years ago needs to work with somebody who woke up 3 years ago. So I think I get what you're saying about the simplicity. By all means, be simple-ish, maybe. but there's also a level of where your work has come along. Frances Cress Welsing, while she did make things simplistic, she also worked in some of the highest level mental levels as well in her language. And so when she was speaking in those spaces, I fully understood where she's coming from because I knew the words she was using and how she was using them. And I believe it's time and space. So what I think I hear you saying is our audience needs to be spoken to like a 3 or 5-year-old. And I get that. And maybe that's where the dynamic will come in. But I also run in circles where Frances Cress Welsing can come and sit in that space and talk to me about complex issues. And I'm right there with her because I've been exposed to those complex issues. And I wouldn't take her speaking to me not in simplistic terms, because I do understand. And to your point, if you're in a space and you don't understand what the words are, simply ask. That's all. So I hear you. I don't want people to get caught up in semantics.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I don't know why my picture don't come up if I took it off. That's really weird. So I am still here. I'm still here. I'm sorry. Yes. So you're not alone.
I do agree that people need it as simple as they possibly can when they have no understanding. But when they have understanding, I'm okay with using language that's relative. So there's a thing that comes in, it's part of the Bible. And what it says is, if you want to welcome people into the church, and this is where I believe you're trying to explain your point, even though our church might speak in tongues, don't speak in tongues around your visitors, or else you may put them off, make them uncomfortable, make them feel like they don't know how to speak tongues too, so then they're not maybe receptive to the word that they're supposed to be exposed to. And I think what you're saying is when the audience is simplistic, use simplistic language. But when the audience is maybe further along, I would hope we could also use the language to be able to speak to that audience as well.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
But I get why you say that. And this is the reason why I say no. It's because this. Okay. How many people understand what the system of racism, white supremacy is? Black people.
Well, let's go back.
No. How many people do you know that's black that truly understand how the system of what the system is and how it works? For real.
To be honest,
take your time.
To be honest, I feel like zero, but that's my experience.
So you talking about speaking high levels to people?
I didn't say speaking high levels. I'm talking to this audience. I'm talking to you, so you are right. I'm hearing what you're saying.
Nobody knows.
I just gave
my point.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Nobody knows.
Okay.
If 0% of people know what the system of white supremacy is, you can't speak to them in a way that you think that they know what it is because they.
But I wasn't speaking to them. I thought I was speaking to you, but I'm hearing your point. My audience might be, they might have woke up yesterday. So I'm telling you, I understand what you meant. When I made the statement that I made, I was talking to you because you asked me a question.
Yeah, no, we're talking about the average person.
I understand. When you say the average person, I am agreeing with you that you speak to that audience. But when you ask me the question directly, I'm answering you, and I know that you understand what those words mean. Now, to your point, asking me to say it so that the people in the back get it, that's fine. I'm not arguing that.
Yeah, I really didn't know what that means because I'm being very honest. I know we gotta go, but I'm not being semantics. Yes, I know I'm not. That
was a lot of semantics.
And I think that's
like I said, what I take from it is your point.
Yeah, I think
like I said in the church.
In my opinion.
In the church,
choose not to deal with it. But go ahead, yes.
Yes, in the church, in the Bible, and again, I'm not saying that what you said was biblical. The Bible says, don't speak in tongues. Even if that's what your church do, don't do it. Because the person that comes to your church that has never spoken tongues might see you speaking in tongues. It also says, don't run all around the church, hollering and screaming and rolling on the ground. That's why it kills me that Baptist churches do it. because a person coming into that space may go, "Oh Lord, this is not the church for me," because these people over here losing their mind. They don't know that that's the way you praise and worship. But the idea is to make the word as simple and as accessible to people as possible. So to your point, I'm saying I understand what you're saying, but when I was answering your question, you and I were having a dialogue, and I
But
thought,
yeah,
or
it ain't about
or
me.
I understand that.
Look, we talking to the people because we're talking to other people out in the world. They don't know what the hell eradicate. I mean, to me, that's what I was saying. In the space, when we use these terms and when we're talking in space, in these Twitter spaces and in social media, we really, you know what? And that's why I said I don't know how Dr. Wilson and Neely Fuller did it this long. I really don't, because it's like just getting to the accuracy of things is difficult, as you can see. Like this is difficult. It is studying a grain of sand for Black folks is very difficult, and that's I think we got to start at. In my opinion, if we start there, we'll be agree. So we got to get ready to go, Mr. Charles. Charles, I want to thank you for being our most active. I mean, he's so active in the chat. He came onto our YouTube channel from the Facebook channel. I want to thank you so very much. And I want to read your last few comments. He said, when Black people are truly liberated and achieved all reparations on all levels, because CARICOM owe the Africans. Like, you had Black people on those spaces saying, what do you need me to do to help you with CARICOM? Do we need to, they ain't want to hear that, because you have CARICOM that's trying to get reparations for Africans, which they should. We're not mad at that. We're not saying, oh, y'all don't need. But when it comes to us, it's a problem. I don't know. So I'm with you on that, Charles. Then what will evolve will be a new society, equal and fair for all. Achieve reparations first for Black Americans. Absolutely. I love it. He also said, Dr. Wilson, which is everybody know, Dr. Wilson is my shiro, along with my mom and my aunts. I totally love Dr. Wilson. She changed my life. He also said, I agree. At today's Pentagon news briefing, Defense Secretary Lord, I don't even know who the Defense Secretary is. Lord, how much sad. But I'm being honest. Lloyd Ashton, did you know who he was to you? A Black 4-star general. Talked to Putin, which is Russia, in a high-level complex. Oh, it went away. Oh, that was you too. Thank you, Tia. Did you do that, Tia? Okay, so I'm gonna put it back. Thank you very much, ma'am. A Black 4-star general talked to Putin in Russia in a high-level complex way, but yet simple. Don't do it or you will pay. Now, Dr. Wilson says, simple. Talk to me like I'm a 10th grader. You're welcome. And it's not condescending. It's just maybe I should send you. I mean, well, you can do it on your own time, because there's over 10 years worth of interviews that Gus have done by now. He started his interviews in 2009. Justice is no longer on the program. She was 10 years old at the time. And they were talking these high. I mean, just maybe you'll keep it simple, stupid. It's easier. It's less confusing. And I think that's important. So my last words for tonight, I want to thank everybody. TJ, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. I appreciate you coming up, because other people dropped out because they didn't want to, which is cool. And that's why we should maybe have the phone line too, Tia Marie, so that way they can just come on the phone. And because I don't want to cam up most of the time either, but at least we can just cam up for the beginning, because we got some crazy folks out here, as we talked about. So I just want to thank everybody. Charles, you have been active. You have been engaged the whole time. I'm going to get my setup so I can send you a whole bunch of heart emojis and a whole bunch of sound systems and stuff, because I thank you so very much. And I appreciate your time for even this chatting and this putting your fingers in there and then typing up some stuff. That's important to us. Thank you. I appreciate everyone for watching. just being here and being involved. I really thank you, and I can't wait to the next show. Me and Tia Marie, we get into a lot of heated debates, and you guys got to see it in camera because it's what we do off camera anyway. So it was like, oh, I this kill show, right? Because we love each other, and that's the thing too. Like we can talk, and there's those people like, oh, I don't like you no more. I don't know what this is, but we're trying to bridge the gap and show people that we can learn, grow, debate because we don't know. We're still learning. And you have not learned. It's an African proverb. You have not learned until you contradict yourself. And I'm done. It's on you, Tia Marie. I'm mute.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining the show. Please like and subscribe. Thank you, Ra Asset, for helping to produce the show. Read the comments and chop it up. Thank you.
So we're done. We out. Everybody have a wonderful evening. And I'm going to play. I'm doing my little playlist after hours. I think you're probably going to go to bed because you have such a busy. Yesterday, your schedule was busy. Side note. I don't.
Yesterday was a little. Yesterday and Wednesday was overscheduled.
I don't know. Simple. We're gonna have to because we're in preschool. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I do have something to share.
Are you coming on tomorrow morning? Okay, so just
I am, but I'm also hosting with with the Tollgate with U of M. I'm hosting a virtual event, and not that I don't have any idea if anybody will see this. Check me out on Facebook, but I'm hosting with Tollgate a virtual nutrition program for students K through 5th grade. Tomorrow is 2 30-minute sessions, 10 a.m. to 11. One is K through 2nd grade, and the other is 3rd grade. And then you can register for 4th and 5th grade. And I have a couple more posts that will be coming out to let you know about some of the things that we have going on.
So you got something coming out tomorrow? Because I missed
tomorrow. Yes, it's the first day. It's called our Show Me Nutrition Saturdays.
Oh,
and there'll be food demonstrations, food education, nutrition education. There's some giveaways, and let's see what else. Recipes and learning how to grocery shop.
Is this for kids or adults or both?
This is for kids, K through 2nd grade. It's from 10 to 10:30. And then 3rd grade. And you can find the registration information on my Facebook.
Okay. I gotta put you. I don't have your. Okay, your Facebook is Tia Marie Sanders on Facebook. So people who don't know.
Yeah, Tia Marie Sanders on Facebook.
That's just Tia Marie Dot. Oh, you know, I want to say this too, and then we're going to come back next week on this. When you had asked me this morning, what is the solution behind all of this? There was a young girl. Well, she sounded young. I'm saying her 30s, talking what the solutions was. She's in New Orleans. She was so passionate. She said, you know, we need you men down here working with the kids, and this. I mean, she was really doing her thing, and then guys were trying to give her pushback, but she kept pushing. She kept pushing. She said, listen, you ain't gotta have money. What about time? Like all of these things they were trying to come up with. She was ADOS, FBA, beautiful black young lady. She's married with 2 kids. I think she just had her baby. She went to school to be a teacher because she wanted to help the kids. She said in New Orleans and like the Third Wards and all these different areas where it's really bad. It's like any urban city, urban area got the same problems. She said, we need y'all. We need, and I was going to go on and present some of the things that we had talked about prior to, like, you know, go into your kids' curriculum, see what the curriculum is, meet the teacher once a week, join the PTA. If they don't have one, join one. If they do got one, still start a African American student association. I got it all listed out what I was going to say, but somehow Twitter ended. I don't know, something happened and now the doggone space ended. But she was coming up with solutions. So I wanted to say that too. So that could be something we can talk about next week, because you do have these people that say, okay, we're doing all of this. I'm with y'all. Let's do the solution. So, and then tomorrow you will be live tomorrow at 9 a.m. and you're going to be talking about some things about how
some of the school funding and how the school is spending some of their funding for the 2023 school year. Free school lunch is ending this year. So right now, every child can get free school lunch.
Until
now it's going to go back just for probably the next few weeks. I think it goes until March. And then it'll go back to only the students who have proof of low income will be able to get free school lunch.
Okay.
There also won't be any more, what was the other thing? I can't think of it right now. I'm sorry.
That's okay. And so that's really good information. And then we're going to put something up here too. So I couldn't put it all up here because they only allow so many characters. But
just put the link if you want.
Okay, so we will be doing that. And I will put the link up. I didn't get the link. Last thing I got is these lessons are interactive and appeal to a wide variety of learning. So what we do is provide solutions. So even though we're talking about all of this, we are providing solutions that you can do on Monday. You can do tonight. Or tomorrow. I'm saying Monday because, like, it's Friday night. You might want to relax, because we got stress. We got post-traumatic slave syndrome.
I just said, but I told people I don't know how you all relax. Because I can't relax in any of this. That's why I work constantly.
You got a whole bunch of stuff here in this comment section here, guys. So if you want to go, it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. But they can always email you, I'm assuming, right? So we can always, I'm going to put your email up here.
I'm going to give these two things.
Always, we can email Tia Marie at tmsanders48375@gmail.com. She always if you have any questions on how you can help your student, what you can do in the community, how you can participate, how we can bridge the gap, this is where you can reach her at. And we will have more subjects so where we can do that at. So this is a link here. I'm going to put this up. It said I had an error when I clicked on it, but I'm gonna put this in. You can always copy and paste this and put this into your YouTube on your, like if you was to log into your YouTube thing, and then you can just put it in here. But I'm gonna do it real quick on mine. So I'm gonna do it on yours. So I'm gonna go in here. I'll show you how to do that, and you can just paste it onto your YouTube here. Put it on Kendrick Soul, and I'm also going to put it on Combative with a Nice Voice. I really thank you so much for your time and patience with me, because I get very excited because I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel.
No.
We don't have time for that. The simpler, the easier, hopefully. I don't know. Again, we're scientists in the lab, because that may not even work. Maybe we got to go elaborate. I don't know. We're all scientists in the lab trying to replace the system of white supremacy. And we're going to go, because my co-host is Yarny. So we're going to go.
I had to go check packages that came to the house that Cameron's bugging me about.
Yes. We love you guys. Thank you for joining us, and have a wonderful night. Thank you.
Love you.
Giving you this good love I know you never had. for me, you in the shower. When you get off, we gon' do it again. Okay, that's right. You're my homie lover, you're my best friend. 6 a.m. and we still at it. Hey, okay. Giving you this good love, I know you never had this. That's right. Making you forget all about your ex. Now who is that? Ooh, I got you doing things that you never regret. Ooh, I never met a real man until I met you. Okay, that's right, that's cool. That's why I'm down to do whatever you want to. When we get off, we gon' do it again. Okay. 'Cause you're my homie lover, you're my best friend. 6 a.m. and we still at it. Hey. Giving me this good love, you know I never had this. Hey. Making me forget all about my ex. Now who was that? Ooh, got me doing things that I better regret. Girl, shot it bad with it. He got finesse in class with it. Tell me up, he's spanking it. Feels so good, I can't resist. In the streets or in the sheet, business know he handles it. Sharp as a dagger. Them haters, they be hating the swagger. And I be rubbing on his head, especially when we in a bed. What's my name? Infrared. And I'm quick to make him sad. 6 a.m. and we still at it. Hey. Giving you this good love, I know you never had it. Hey. Making me forget all about my ex. Got me doing things that I better regret. Giving me the chance. To your chance.
Do you own a business? Looking to start one? Benjamin Brand, Benjamin Brand, Benjamin Brand. Our advertising agency offers a wide variety of public relations and advertising needs for the beginner, the small business owner, or the CEO of a major corporation via radio, television, and even the web. So whatever you're trying to market, contact us. We'll do it for you. Benjamin Brand, Benjamin Brand, Benjamin Brand.
You are now tuned in to Soulful Fridays with Tia Marie and Ra Asset.